Okay, what about now? No? Still? Can you guys hear me now? You can hear? Yes? Oh, thank you, Jesus. Satan, I rebuke you right now in the name of Jesus. This information is going to go to the people. Yay, I'm back. Okay. All right, let's try this again. Welcome to the Immigrants Bridge Show with me, Attorney B. This is episode 21, guys. I'm so excited to have you on here to spend a few minutes to learn what's new in immigration law. You might not need this information, but you might know someone who needs the information. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Remember, if you have questions, not case specific, but if you have general immigration questions, please go ahead and put them in the comments. Also, the only rule I have is that if you are here, let me know you're here. Just drop a hey, Ms. B, hey, Attorney B, and that way I can say hello and see who's on with me tonight. So thank you for your time. Bienvenidos a la programa, episode número 21, a la Puente de los Inmigrantes. Hoy yo tengo mucha información para compartir a ustedes. So, en caso de que usted conoce a una persona que necesita saber esa información, por favor, compartir esa información. Tengo muchas noticias del mundo de inmigración. Si ustedes tienen preguntas generales, por favor, pone en los comentarios. Y obviamente también la única regla que yo tengo es que si usted está escuchando, por favor pone su nombre y dice que hola abogada, so yo puedo saber quién está escuchándome, ¿ok? So we're going to go ahead and get started. I do see one question. Let me write it down so I don't forget. And thank you guys for your patience. Sometimes we have technical difficulties, but thank you for hanging in there. We have a good solid audience here. So I see one question. Uh, so I will jump in. Hello, Arthur. Nice to see you. Hey, Crystal. Nice to see you. Miss Terry. Nice to see you. Bianca, hola, bonita, ¿cómo está? Miss Dawn is here. Hope is here. Miss Daphne's here. Miss Patty. Ashley is here. Juan, nice to see you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Edith is here. Great to see you all. Did I say Ashley already? Yes, Ashley is here. Thank you, Ashley, for sharing your story with us the other day. All right, so let's jump in. So, hey, Miss Yessie, nice to see you. Hey, Renee, nice to see you too. Hey, Christine, great to see you. So, una de las cosas es que la corte todavía está cerrado, ¿ok? So, si tiene corte en el mes de mayo, no hay corte. So, pensamos que la corte va a reabrir en, en junio, ¿ok? So, si tiene cita con el juez en ese mes, está cancelado. So, one thing is that if you have immigration court this month, all of those hearings are canceled. The court is moving towards reopening for non detained cases in June. So, all of the cases from March until today or till the end of the month, those are all canceled. So, in case you have a case or you know someone with a case, those cases are not canceled and they will be scheduled. They will be rescheduled, but we're expecting that the courts will reopen in June. Hey, Wade, Attorney Wade, a wonderful attorney here in Claremont, partner at BCN Law Firm. Nice to see you. Thank you for stopping by. Attorney Shelley just joined in. Hey, Attorney Shelley, welcome. So that's one piece of information. looks like Attorney Shelley's having a party and I'm not invited. What? If you have tequila, we can talk. Okay, so next thing is, hey Rose. Next thing is USCIS, regular immigration. They do remain closed to the public unless there is an emergency. They do expect to reopen on June 4th. So, June 4th, we're expecting to see lots of interviews being rescheduled. So, those will be interviews on marriage based cases, green cards, as well as citizenship. So, citizenship cases will be moving forward, as well as the oath ceremonies. We expect that the cases that were canceled the last few months, that those cases will be rescheduled first. So lo que estoy diciendo es que Inmigración, USCIS, ellos van a reabrir al público el 4 de junio, de junio, el mes que viene. So, ellos van a recomenzar los casos de ciudadanía, los casos de residencia, cualquier cosa que necesita entrevista en todos los oficinas en todos los Estados Unidos. So, Orlando, Tampa, todo en Florida y en todos los otros estados también. So, el 4 de junio. Yo pienso que probablemente ellos van a comenzar primeramente con los entrevistas que fue cancelado en marzo y abril y mayo. So, probablemente esas personas van a recibir citas pronto. Hey, Brother Stevens, nice to see you. Hey, Chelsea. Hey, Carlos. Hey, Diane, nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. ICE. So, if a person is reporting to ICE, you guys know ICE, ICE, baby. Dun, 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 dun. No, not that ICE, not vanilla ICE. We're talking about ICE, the arm of immigration that actually removes people from the United States. Um, so right now they are also closed to the public. But what Orlando specifically is doing is they are giving 3-month extensions. So, for example, during the time that the office is closed, if you have an appointment, you simply add 3 months to it and then you report at that time. So, if you had an ICE report date of, let's say, May 15th, you would simply go May, June, July, August 15th, and that would be your new report date. They are not open to the public. They are open to receiving stays and bonds, however. But again, we don't know when exactly they're going to reopen, just like we don't know for the court, but we're thinking they're moving towards June. So, lo que estoy diciendo es que ICE, no Vanilla ICE, pero ICE, que ellos son especialistas en deportación, todavía está cerrado al público, pero imagino que ellos van a reabrir probablemente también como la corte en junio. Pero por el momento, si tienes cita con ICE, um, específicamente en Orlando. Eso es lo que yo sé de la oficina en Orlando por el supervisor, ¿ok? Ella me dijo que simplemente si tiene una cita, tiene que regresar en 3 meses después de su cita. So, por ejemplo, si tiene cita el 15 de mayo, usted tiene que presentar en 3 meses, so en agosto 15 puede presentar, ¿ok? So, durante ese tiempo, ellos están cerrados al público, pero usted todavía tiene que reportar en 3 meses, ¿ok? Los consulados todavía está cerrado y no tenemos ninguna información a cuándo ellos van a reabrir. Recuerda que los consulados es en diferentes países, so es probablemente muy complicado porque cada país es diferente. So, el momento cuando yo tengo la información cuándo los consulados van a reabrir, entonces yo voy a decir. So, at this point, the consulates all around the world, they are still closed. We don't have any idea when they will reopen at this time. However, I think it's going to be a little bit more complicated than the US offices because each country has their different regulations relating to COVID. So maybe the consulates, different consulates will open at different times. But for the moment, we don't have any information on when they are going to open in particular. One thing I do want to say about some news that we got today is regarding driver licenses. Um, I see Glory. Hola, Glory. Nice to see you. My aunt, Auntie Susie. Nice to see you. Griselda. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. Um, we did get some pretty devastating news regarding driver licenses in the state of Florida for people that are undocumented. So, in the past, meaning as of yesterday, people could have, if you had a court hearing date, you could have used that hearing notice to get a driver license. As of today, we have news that in order to get a driver license, you need the hearing notice and Form I 94. Now, the majority of people that are undocumented do not have an I 94. This is the reason they are undocumented. So, this is really something terrible to cripple people who are in court proceedings who used to be able to get driver licenses, and now they're really shutting the door on these people because the vast majority of those people do not have an I 94. They did clarify that they were talking specifically about you could use an I 94 even if it was expired. But again, the vast majority of undocumented people do not have an I 94, whether it is valid or expired. So this is a pretty big blow. I'm definitely carefully watching and reading the news as they come through as it relates to driver licenses. And if there's any more updates, I will certainly provide that information to you as well. Hey, Myra, nice to see you. Hey, Annette Boo Boo, nice to see you. Thank you for tuning in. So, en español, lo que estoy diciendo es que hoy recibimos malas noticias um, de las licencias de conducir. So, antes de ayer, una persona que estaba en el proceso de deportación y tiene cita con el juez, esa persona podría usar la notificación con la cita para obtener la licencia en Florida. Eso fue un gran bendición. Pero hoy recibimos las noticias que una persona que tiene cita con el juez no puede usar ese documento para obtener la licencia en Florida. ¿Ok? Porque ellos quieren también que la gente presenta una forma I-94. El problema con eso es que la mayoría de la gente que son indocumentados no tiene un I-94. So, eso es básicamente diciendo que, ok, en el pasado podría obtener su licencia en Florida con su notificación de su cita, pero ahora no, en ninguna forma. So, eso definitivamente es malas noticias para las personas en el proceso de deportación y tiene cita con el juez. Ellos no pueden usar la noticia para obtener la licencia porque más que nada ellos no tienen también un I-94. Ian is on, attorney Sasha Watson Sankey, very good friend of mine, wonderful attorney in Orlando, is on. Nice to see you. Hey, Miss Carol, great to see you. So, unfortunately, that was a big hit concerning driver licenses in the state of Florida for those that are undocumented. I have a question here regarding a driver license. If we got a license for 1 year, can it be extended since Corona stopped everyone for a while? So, Chelsea, that's a great question. The question is people who have that temporary license, can they go ahead and renew those licenses? Um, the answer is I don't think so. I know that they're doing 30-day extensions. Um, so those 30-day extensions, I think that's for everyone. But in general, until the DMV is open, I don't believe following that 30-day, it can be extended. Miss Yessie, who is our DMV liaison, our DMV expert, go ahead and correct the abogada if I did not give her the right information. I do remember something coming across that said they will be extending them for 30 days. But after that, if you are an immigrant, you will need to make an appointment when the DMV offices have reopened. Hey, Anibal Martinez, nice to see you. Hey, Liliana, nice to see you. En español, la pregunta es si una persona tiene una licencia, pero necesita renovar y las oficinas del DMV está cerrado, ¿qué puede hacer? So, lo que yo recuerdo es que ellos están dando extensiones por 30 días, pero desgraciadamente después de eso tiene que esperar que las oficinas del DMV está abierto otra vez. So, pienso que ellos están dando como 30 días de extensión, pero después de eso tiene que esperar. La señora Jessie es la especialista en mi oficina del DMV. So, Yesenia, si todavía está aquí, puede poner algo más en los comentarios si yo soy correcto o no. Um, yes, I was right. So, sí, yo tengo razón que la extensión es solamente por 30 días, y después tiene que esperar cuando está abierto otra vez las oficinas del DMV. So, yes, he just corrected, confirmed that it is the 30-day extension. And after that, you have to just wait until the office is open. Um, let's see what else I wanted to tell you. Okay, so this is like crazy that I even get excited about things like this. But immigration, they are finally putting a bunch of full applications online. So instead of sending everything by mail, we are actually able to do certain forms online. So they have started this, but I just checked in today and I want to tell you what those forms are. So, for example, a green card renewal form, I-90, that can be done online. An I-130, a family-based petition, that can also be done online. An extension of status, Form I-539, that can be done online, as well as a citizenship. So the N-400, those can also be done online. So I do hope that this is a trend that continues to where immigration, they're putting more things online as opposed to, totally relying on a paper heavy system. So, lo que estoy diciendo que estoy muy alegre que inmigración es finalmente poniendo algunas formas online, en la línea, y no está dependiendo de que todas las aplicaciones tenemos que mandar en correo. So, yo voy a explicar los 4 formas que podemos hacer en la línea online. Número 1, para renovar su residencia, sus tarjetas verdes, podemos hacer eso online. I-130, las peticiones de familiares, eso también puede ser online. También, si tiene que cambiar su estatus o extender su estatus aquí en los Estados Unidos, eso podemos poner eso en online también. Y finalmente, la ciudadanía podemos aplicar en la línea online también. So, gracias a Dios, finalmente inmigración está tratando de poner más formas que podemos aplicar en la línea online y no tenemos que mandar todo, todo, todo por correo. ¿Qué más? Ashley has a question. How long before the green card expires can you renew it? La pregunta es, ¿en cuánto tiempo antes de expira una residencia tiene que renovar? So normally we send out those applications about 3 months before they expire. Uh, 3 months is pretty good. Some people have been doing earlier, like we do earlier for our DACA, but we're doing those because we don't even know how long that's going to last. But generally, for a green card, 3 months in advance is fine. So la respuesta es normalmente como 90 días, 3 meses antes que expira. Eso es suficiente. One thing that I saw also that's a little bit of an update is, hey Benny, hey Benito, nice to see you. Eliel, bienvenidos. Um, Naturalization for military personnel. Maybe I just didn't know, but I was excited to read that there are fee waivers associated with those cases. So if you're serving in the military or you're a veteran and you want to file for your citizenship, you don't have to pay the immigration fee. I think that's the least that can be done for people who are, putting their lives on the line to serve our country. So I was really happy to see that. And also before, they had to go through the paper process as well. But military personnel and veterans, they're also able to file these applications online. So, lo que estoy diciendo para personas que están en las Fuerzas Armadas, ellos no tienen que pagar los trámites para meter sus aplicaciones por ciudadanía. So, eso me alegra mucho porque esas son personas que están sirviendo los Estados Unidos y al menos ellos pueden dar ese beneficio para que no tiene que pagar el trámite para meter sus aplicaciones por ciudadanía. So, eso me alegra mucho. Otro punto, other point regarding people that are in the armed forces or veterans. There are special provisions under the immigration laws that allow them to, once they enter the military, for them to get their citizenship much more quickly than someone, for example, who would have to wait the normal 5 years. Very interesting. I bring this up because I spoke with a young lady today, well, her mother, and she's had her green card for only 2 years, but she is in the military. She's in the army. She just started with them, and she will be able to get her citizenship once she's completed her basic training and things like that. So it's just kind of a really great thing that people that are in the military under certain provisions of the law, they can actually get their citizenship much faster than people who would have to wait the regular 3 or 5 years. So that's great. Again, these are people serving our country, and I think it's the least that we can do for them. Lo que estoy diciendo es que para personas en las Fuerzas Armadas, otra cosa muy bien es que ellos no tienen que esperar el tiempo para aplicar por ciudadanía. So, recuerda que normalmente, si está casado con ciudadano, puede aplicar por ciudadanía en 3 años, pero aparte de eso, tiene que esperar 5 años para aplicar por su ciudadanía. So, en el caso de las personas en las Fuerzas Armadas, ellos pueden aplicar cuando ellos entren las Fuerzas Armadas. So, hoy, la razón que estoy pensando en eso es que hoy yo hablo con una persona que la hija de ella va a entrar las Fuerzas Armadas, el Army, en esa semana. So, cuando ella cumplir el entrenamiento, ella puede obtener ciudadanía, aunque ella solamente tiene residencia por 2 años. So, aunque solamente 2 años, ella puede cualificar bajo de específicamente las leyes de ciudadanía que afectan las personas que están en las Fuerzas Armadas. So, eso es una buena cosa por ellos también. Um, I see another question here. Um, Arthur has a question. I have a family member who left the USA without their green card. They are almost 6 months out of the country. What can that person do? So, Arthur, you have to tell me, does this person have a green card? Does this person have a green card already, or they forgot their green card here in the US? I'm not sure I understand what you're asking. Hey, Lamoy, nice to see you. Hey, Miss Julie, nice to see you. Julie Bennett, that's my sister from another mister. Nice to see you, Maricela. So I will wait to get some more clarification on Arthur's question, but I wanted to also give you some updates about the visa bulletin. So I checked the visa bulletin for March, and it's actually pretty decent for the most part. Things are moving. So the visa bulletin is applicable on cases where someone falls into what's called a preference category, meaning that a visa is not immediately available to them. So, whenever people talk about get into the line, the visa bulletin tells you how long the line is. So, one of my triggers or one of my hotspots is when I hear people without knowledge say, why don't they get in the line? Well, I'm going to go through what the line looks like so that you guys are educated and you understand how long the immigration process truly takes. Lo que estoy diciendo es que yo voy a hablar del bulletin de los visas, ¿ok? Podemos saber cuánto tiempo toma para procesar un caso de inmigración. So, cuando ustedes escuchan la noticia, si ellos dicen que por qué ellos no entran en la línea y espera para sus visas. So, yo voy a explicar exactamente el boletín de las visas y el tiempo. So, voy a comenzar con las buenas noticias. So, I'm going to start with the good news. The good news is the category F2A, which is for spouses or minor children of green card holders. Okay, so if you have a green card and you filed for a spouse or a child that is under 21, the visa bulletin is current. Normally, this is about 2 or 3 years of a wait. Right now, there's no wait. So once the petition is approved, it gets sent to Visa Center and you can continue the filing process and you don't have to wait any additional time. The visa bulletin in this category has really been current for a while, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it remains this way for a while. But that is very, very good news. Hey, Miss Rosalva, mi bonita, ¿cómo está? Good to see you. Happy Mother's Day. So let's talk about some other categories that are not current. So, oh, did I say that in Spanish? Did I say what I just said in Spanish? No, so I didn't. So lo que estoy diciendo es que las buenas noticias en español es que el categoría para personas que solamente tienen residencia, que está pidiendo un esposo o esposa o un niño que tiene menos de 21 años, esa categoría es lista. So, después de la aprobación de la petición, no hay una espera, no hay una línea en ese momento. So, eso es muy, muy bien. So, en caso de que ustedes conocen a personas que solamente tienen residencia y ellos quieren pedir a sus esposo o esposa o niños que tienen menos de 21 años, ahora es el tiempo. Ya es el tiempo para que ellos piden porque no hay una línea. So, eso es la buena noticia. Aparte de eso, es malas noticias, ¿ok? So, if you know someone who is thinking that is a green card holder that is thinking about filing for a family member such as a spouse or a child under the age of 21, now is a great time for them to file. If you need our help to do that, you can give us a call and make an appointment. If someone from our team can pop our number in the comments, you can always call us during regular business hours and make an appointment. But green card holders for this particular category is fantastic. Okay, so F2B. If you're a green card holder, let me make sure I see the right date. If you're a green card holder and you're filing for a child who is over 21, if you're in most countries, the visa bulletin is at their processing cases they received in January of 2015. If you are from Mexico, their processing cases received in January 1999. So I'm not really that great at math, but if someone filed back in 1999, which is 21 years ago, I think it's 21 years, right? 21 years ago, they are finally at the front of the line. So there is a big difference with how Mexico is treated in terms of the numbers of visas that are available to that specific country. Other countries that are singled out include China, India, and the Philippines. So only 4 countries have different dates. I serve a lot of Mexicans, so I'm not going into the other countries, but these 4 countries, um, their lines are significantly longer. Mexico's lines are the longest of the 4 countries. So remember, if you're a green card holder and you're filing for a child that is over 21, it's going to take you 21 years for you to bring your child to the United States. Yeah. So this is the reason why I get triggered when people say get in the line, because they don't know how long the line is. But I'm telling you how long the line is so you can spread correct information. So lo que estoy diciendo es que la línea para personas que tienen solamente tienen residencia y ellos están pidiendo hijos que tienen más de 21 años. Para personas afuera de México, todos los países afuera de México, ellos están procesando casos que recibe en enero de 2015. So, la línea es como 5 años. En el caso de México, ellos están procesando casos que recibe en enero de 99. Ok, so no estoy muy bien con math, pero eso es como 21 años de espera, 21 años de una línea. So, para que una persona que pide un hijo de México, ellos tienen que esperar más o menos 21 años para traiga la niña aquí en los Estados Unidos. So, es muy importante que ustedes entiendan que hay visas disponibles a diferentes países. México es uno de 4 países que tiene diferentes números de las visas. So, China, India, Philippines y México tiene diferentes fechas. So, aparte de ese 4 países, ellos están procesando casos que recibe en enero de 2015. Okay, so that's one category. Otra categoría solamente de, oh, let me go back to English. So the other categories are for US citizens applying for specific family members. So the first 2 that I talked about had to do with green card holders. The next 2 that I'm going to talk about have to do with US citizens applying for certain family members. Okay. So if you're a US citizen and you are petitioning for an unmarried child and you're in any other country other than Mexico, they are processing cases they received in March of 2014. If you're from Mexico, they're processing cases they received in October of 1997. Did you guys get that? Did you guys get that? If you're a US citizen and you have an unmarried child that is over 21 and you are filing for them, if you live in any other country other than Mexico, it's about 6 years because they're processing cases that they received in March of 2014. For Mexico, they're processing cases they received in October of 1997. That is 23 years of waiting. By the time your kid comes, I mean, if you add 23 plus the kid's age, they would be at least, let's say they were 22 when you filed for them. By the time they get here, they'd be about 45 years old. Yeah, that's really what people from Mexico are facing. So again, when people say things like get in the line, I'm sorry, but my true and honest feelings is I want to punch you in your face because you don't understand what that line means, particularly for Mexicans, who are the ones that are demonized the most in this country. People always wondering why they don't do it legally. I came legally. Well, you came legally because your process took about a year. For certain people in Mexico, it's going to take them 20 something years. So that's the difference. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting into my feelings right now. Step back, Bridget. Step back. I'm going back. But I'm just trying to tell you the truth. I'm not making it up. These are my notes. These are my notes where I don't know if you can see it, but I have written down the dates off of the immigration website. You can look it up, you can see it. I'm not making it up. Now, en español, lo que estoy diciendo es que yo voy a explicar por los ciudadanos. So, antes estaba hablando solamente sobre las personas que tienen residencia. Que ahora yo voy a hablar de los ciudadanos. So, imagino eso en una categoría, un ciudadano que está pidiendo un hijo que tiene más de 21 años. Eso es una de las categorías, que está soltero. Por todos los países, aparte de los 4 que yo hablé antes, ellos están procesando casos que reciben en marzo de 2014. Marzo de 2014, ¿ok? Son más o menos 6 años por un ciudadano de otros países. De México, el mismo categoría, ciudadano, pidiendo un hijo que tiene más de 21 años. Ellos están procesando casos que reciben en octubre de 97. 23 años. Imagino eso. So, si usted tiene 22 años, si su hijo tiene 22 años, right? Y un papá que tiene ciudadanía está pidiendo, by the time, cuando el hijo entre los Estados Unidos va a tener 45 años, porque la línea es como 23 años. So, eso es la razón que me enoja mucho cuando la gente dice que, ir en la línea. Ellos no entienden, ellos no tienen educación de qué significa la línea, especialmente por México. Por mí no es justo. Un país está esperando 6 años, la mayoría, pero México está esperando 23 años en el mismo categoría. Eso no tiene razón a mí. Pero estoy en mi emociones, so voy a cálmame, okay? So I'm getting back into myself, okay? Miss Terry, the wait time for Jamaica is six years. So Jamaica is in the other categories. Now, if your child is married, you're a US citizen and you want to file for a child that is married. Right now, they are processing cases for most countries that were filed in March of 2008. For poor Mexico, they are processing cases that were filed in June of 1996, 24 years. It's significant, the difference. So if the waiting time, if your child is over 21 and married, is significantly longer than if they were single. So we have a difference of about 6 years difference in the line. Because remember, if you're single, it will take only 6 years. But if you are married, it'll take about 12 years. So that's a conversation that needs to take place with the children. Mexico, we're waiting 24 years. We're waiting 24 years. So think about this too. When you file for someone and the process takes that long, imagine people that have children. So let's say you decide to file for your married son, which would include his wife, and they have a child, and the child is 2 years old, and they all live in Mexico, the family of three. By the time they wait the 24 years for the visas to be available to them, the child is now, um, what is it, 24, 20, 26. So guess what? Now the child cannot immigrate with mom or dad because they're over the age. And then when the parents come, they would have to file for that child. Listen how stupid this is, or ridiculous. They waited 24 years to come to the United States as a family, but now the child is over 21. So that child cannot immigrate with their parents. When the parents get here, they now have to file a petition for that child, which is a F2B. Remember, I told you F2B for Mexico was in 1999. So now that kid got to wait another 21 years. So that one poor kid has to wait like 40, 45 years before they can come to the United States legally. This is what I'm talking about. It is lunacy. It is lunacy. So I just wanted you guys to be aware of this and what the line means so that you can tell people when they say, well, Mexicans this and Mexicans that. Well, yeah, they don't even know what really is Mexican immigration because in a case that I just explained, it will take 45 years before the person can get here. Ok, let me see if I can remember that in Spanish. Lo que estoy diciendo es que para persona, un ciudadano que está pidiendo un hijo que está casado y tiene más de 21 años. En la mayoría de los países, ellos están procesando casos que recibe en 2008, en marzo. So, va a tardar como 14 años, más o menos. Si la persona es soltero, entonces toma como 6 años más de una persona soltera. Pero eso es por la mayoría de los países. Pero en México, ¿okay? En México, está tardando 24 años. ¿Por qué? Hoy día, ellos están procesando casos que recibe en junio de 96. 96. So, imagino eso. Usted es ciudadano americano y usted está pidiendo su hijo en México que tiene esposa y niño de 2 años de edad. So, ¿por qué va a tardar 24 años para la visa ser disponible? Su hijo y la esposa puede entrar a los Estados Unidos después de los 24 años. Pero el hijo que tenía 2 años cuando comienza el caso, ahora tiene 26 años. So, también recuerda que el niño estaba esperando los 24 años también. So ahora mami y papi puede entrar los Estados Unidos y él no puede porque ahora tiene más de 21 años. Pero cuando entra en los Estados Unidos, los padres pueden pedir a ellos, puede pedir a él. Pero el categoría, ahora ellos están procesando casos que recibe, recuerda, en 99. So ahora el niño que tenía 2 años tiene que esperar 21 años más. So en total, ese niño tiene que esperar 45 años antes de él puede entrar a los Estados Unidos. Imagino eso. Eso específicamente a México. So, otra vez, eso es la razón que me enoja, mucho cuando la gente ignorante dice que ¿por qué ellos no esperan en la línea? Porque el sistema está roto. The system is broken because this doesn't make any kind of sense. And finally, my last point, I didn't realize how long we are going. But we still have 36 people listening. So I'll go for another one last question. The question is, can a child that's a citizen apply for mom and sisters? Let me do the sisters part. Um, yes, a US citizen, not a green card holder, not a resident, is allowed to apply for a brother or sister. Okay. That category is F4. For any other country other than Mexico, they are processing cases they received in July 2006. If you're in Mexico, they are processing cases that they received in April of 1998. So we got 22 years there. Whereas for other country, it's about 14. My mom did the process, well, I guess not so recently, but about 5 years ago, 4 years ago, and my aunt and uncle came, and it really did take 14 years. I can tell you that much because they came in 2014. It took 14 years. And by that time, I'll give you a sad story. For my aunt, the kids, remember, they were waiting 14 years and she already had kids. So for my aunt, we barely squeezed in, and her two girls were able to come here with her. For my uncle, remember, we filed at the same time, all of his children had aged out and none of them are here in the United States. They're all still back in Jamaica. So it is like ripping families apart for these petitions to take so long. So my aunt's kids were able to come by the skin of their teeth, and my uncle's kids were not able to come because they were over the age of 21. Lo que estoy diciendo, hey Anita, hey Miss Nicole, hey Preba, hey Nieves, hey Maria, nice to see you. Um, so la categoría para personas que quiere pedir hermanos es posible si es ciudadano, no solamente residente. Ciudadano solamente puede pedir hermanos, hermanas. ¿Ok? Por todos los otros países, ellos están procesando casos que ha recibido en 2006. ¿Ok? So, aproximadamente 14 años de una espera de la línea. Por México, ellos están procesando casos que ha recibido en abril de 98. Son como 22 años. So, otra vez, por México tarda tanto tiempo. Y soy testimonio de cómo ridículo ese proceso. Por ejemplo, mi mamá pide a mi tío y mi tía en 2000. Ellos entran en los Estados Unidos en 2014, 14 años de una espera. Pues mi tía tiene suerte porque los niños, las chicas de ella, mis primas, ellos podrían entrar a los Estados Unidos con ella, los dos. porque ellas no tenía 21 años en ese tiempo. Mi tío, desgraciadamente, todos los niños de él, tenía más de 21 años, so ellos no pueden acompañar a él. So, hasta hoy día, como 6 años, los hijos, mis primos de mi tío todavía están en Jamaica, pero con suerte, mis primas de mi tía está aquí en los Estados Unidos con la residencia. So, eso es algo grande. You know, es difícil porque está separando las familias. Pero por México, pobre México, la línea es muy largo, mucho más largo que los otros países. So, we have gone really long. I can't get to every single question we have tonight. So I am going to write these questions down and I am going to address them on our next show. I'm so grateful to see so many people. We had over 40 people watching all at once. So I am very happy that you all have taken the time to get this information that you can share with your family or friends. Here at the Bennett Law Center, if you would like a consultation, you can certainly contact us and we'd be happy to talk about your case specifically. Okay. So our number is in the comments below if you want to contact us that way. Now, I am also a minister and I am teaching a class at my church on Tuesdays. So for the next month, I will not be here on Tuesday. I will only be doing Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So Tuesdays are out moving forward. So if you tune in tomorrow, the show won't be on. But the questions that I missed, I will definitely pop them in on Wednesday. So don't think that we're not going to answer your question. We just want you to come back and I'll give you the answers to your questions on Wednesday. We'll also be here Thursday and, of course, on Friday for our happy hour. En español, me estoy diciendo que gracias por su tiempo. Hay mucha gente escuchando hoy, pero como una hora que estamos aquí. So, por respeto por su tiempo, voy a cerrar la programa por hoy. Pero recuerda, estoy aquí toda la semana. So, un punto es que mañana, lunes, martes, los martes, yo tengo otra obligación y yo no puedo ir en la programa mañana, los lunes, martes, porque soy ministerio también y estoy teaching. What's teaching again? My brain is fried. I'm teaching un clase de mi iglesia. So es martes. So yo no puedo tener mi programa porque es el mismo tiempo. So estoy aquí a las 7, lunes, miércoles, jueves y viernes. Ok, so 4 días um, en el futuro. Ok. Pero sí, hay otras preguntas aquí que yo no puedo um, dar respuestas hoy por el tiempo, pero miércoles yo voy a dar las respuestas. So, por favor, regresa con nosotros para el miércoles, otro programa. También, si usted tiene preguntas específicamente y quiere una consulta, el número de la oficina está aquí en los comentarios. So, por favor, darnos una llamada y tener una cita directamente conmigo. Um, ok, la palabra es enseñando, teaching, enseñando en una clase de mi iglesia. So, gracias por su tiempo. Estoy muy agradezco. I am very appreciative de su tiempo y espero que con Dios nos vemos miércoles a las 7, ¿ok? So thank you again for tuning in, everyone. I will see you on Wednesday. And I'm so sorry for the people that I didn't get um, the get to your questions today, but Wednesday I will. So hopefully you can join me again on Wednesday. And God willing, I will see you then. Thank you so much for your time. Love you guys, and we'll see you soon.